Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to Elite Weather Forecasting. My name is Mr. G. I'm your weather forecaster, and it's been a minute since I've done a video because I'm in my new school semester and I have live classes. You know, I go to school online. My coursework is mostly online, but I've always had what's called, I don't know, where it's just, you just log in and do work and coursework and everything is pre-recorded, but I actually have live classes this semester. Even though they are remote, we do have a scheduled class time as if I was on campus. So that is how it is. So it's harder to do videos now because my classes are live. They're not, I forgot the term they use for it when you have online classes, but I do have live classes as if I was on campus. So this is how we're going to do our video. So now, and plus I work full time, so it's harder to get out here and do these videos for these guys, so for you guys. So, but we got big news today. Woo, we got a big one for you today. I'm sure everybody already knows about Hurricane Helene. Florida is getting whacked right now. It's off the chain. It's just making its way. It's in about next couple of hours, a few hours or so it's going to make landfall here, but we are seeing some pretty impressive stuff now with Hurricane Helene. I've seen quite a few videos now of people filming the hurricane that lived down in Florida and in the Appalachian area down across the Big Bend area of Florida, of North Florida. We are seeing the effects of Hurricane Helene. Boy, you should see the water, that storm surge starting to come in now. So pretty serious business with this hurricane. So we've had 3 or 4 years straight now where at least one major hurricane has affected the mainland U.S. and in particular Florida. So we are seeing a pretty serious hurricane as we have a Category 4 hurricane to talk about with you guys today. So we have Hurricane Helene that's taking the direct aim at northeastern Florida over the Big Bend area. So this is going to mainly particularly affect Apalachicola, Tallahassee, the same areas like where Hurricane Michael hit, Hurricane Ivan as well. So and also Ian is going to pass near that area as well. So we're going to be seeing this pretty significant hurricane affecting the state of Florida right now. But it's not just going to affect Florida. We're going to be seeing rain and wind expand to other parts of the southeast as well. Some of that heavy rain and wind is going to be spreading up to Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, over the Appalachians. We're going to be seeing heavy rain up all the way up into North Carolina and Virginia and through parts of the mid-Atlantic as well. So this hurricane will have a far-reaching impact, not just the state of Florida. So most of the southeast will have some very dangerous weather to contend with tonight and over the next into tomorrow as well, even though it will weaken considerably as it moves on land. But tomorrow we're going to be seeing the hurricane track across Georgia and the Carolina. So we're going to be seeing heavy rain through the Appalachian areas of South Carolina into North Carolina, Georgia. So Atlanta, all the way across Asheville, Greenville, Charlotte as well. We're going to be seeing that heavy rainfall. Some areas could pick up in excess of 10 to 20 inches of rain. So a lot of rain across the southeast, as well as winds in the 70 to 80 mile per hour range. So a lot of wind gusts out there. Our hurricane is packing winds of about 135 miles per hour right now as it makes its way toward the Florida coastline. So let's take a look at our live radar image of what's going on across the state of Florida. And you can see that heavy rain as this low pressure center spirals up toward the Florida coast there. You can see this area, our hurricane here spinning as it spins its way toward the Big Bend area of Florida here. So northeastern Florida here. So we are looking at very heavy rain. You're seeing some of those rain bands lashing out towards Sarasota, Tampa as well, West Florida. So along the Florida Panhandle, we're also seeing some of those heavy rain bands. We also saw some water spouts today over Central Florida off the Atlantic side. So we are going to be seeing potential for tornadoes with this as well as some severe weather. And that mostly takes place over the outer bands. But as you get more closer toward the center of circulation in the eye, you see less in the way of that kind of activity. But we're starting to see the heavy rain from this very compact storm here. So we have a very tightly wound hurricane. This is a Category 4 storm making its way into the Big Bend area of Florida, much like Hurricane Michael did and Hurricane Ian as well. So again, get ready for Hurricane Helene as it's spreading heavy rain across west central Florida, the Florida Panhandle, and over the Big Bend. And we're also seeing some of those rain showers going across the Florida border into Georgia as well. So lots of heavy rain across the southeastern U.S. today, and high winds as we deal with the direct impacts of a Category 4 major hurricane. Okay, so here we are. This is where our hurricane currently resides. As you can see, the darkness is very high updrafts up the storm. So these are very cold cloud tops. So when we see an infrared image like this, and you see it where it's very dark, and this is white, this is very tall cloud tops. We're talking cloud tops here in excess of 50,000 feet high. So very high cloud tops with our very powerful hurricane, our Category 4 hurricane. And so here's the track that Hurricane Helene is going to take. And so Helene is becoming as a Category 4 storm, but we're going to see it make a turn toward the northwest as it gets further inland across Georgia, and it's going to make a turn towards Tennessee as well. So as we can see, as we head into tomorrow, we're going to start to see that turn towards the northwest as the hurricane gradually weakens and moves inland, but it will then take a northwesterly turn. And then here we go. Here's our ensemble of possible tracks. And you can see this ensemble pretty much is pretty consistent here. It's not a whole lot of deviation. It's maybe just a very narrow band of possible path directions that this storm could take. As you can see, a pretty consistent pattern with this hurricane. Again, here is our hurricane advisory. So we have a tropical storm warning here across the Florida Peninsula. But as you move northward towards Georgia and North Florida, the Big Bend area, as well as the Panhandle, we can see where we have a hurricane warning in place across this region tonight. And we're going to see that hurricane warning remain in effect probably all night tonight and early tomorrow morning before it begins to move away from the region and move further into Georgia and across the rest of the southeastern U.S. and begins to weaken. So we'll see that Category 4 storm eventually drop down to a tropical storm. And this was earlier today. This is our Category 2, but now it's a Category 4 storm, so it has upgraded. This is a little bit older, so now we have it just off coast. The shore here, in a couple of hours, will be coming on shore as a Category 4 hurricane. So here we are as we take a look at, we're going to be seeing that heavy rain again across the state of Florida. So a lot of crazy stuff to deal with here across Georgia. So we're going to be seeing that hurricane. So make your plans if if you haven't made your plans, it's too late now. So you just in it. You just got to live with it. If you haven't, so wherever you are, this is not the storm, Floridians. This is not the storm to have a hurricane party to. This is a storm to when they told you to leave. This is a storm you should have left. So if you didn't leave, this is just your ass. This is just where you are right now. Okay. So you got a Category 4 storm with 140 mile per hour winds breathing down your neck, and this storm is going to make itself known here. It's already making itself known. This is just not a joke here. We got a pretty serious situation. This is really bad. This is really pretty serious. It's been Floridians have been riding on easy street over the last several years, and they haven't been taking them serious, but this is one storm they should take serious. So here is your storm surge forecast, and you're going to see that 20-foot storm surge here in Florida. Now, I saw a video of storm surge water already starting to come into Apalachicola, Florida. So you can see here across this region of the Big Bend where we can see storm surge up to 20 feet. Some other areas will have 3 to 6 feet, and you have 10 foot. But here, where the blue is, 20 foot plus storm surge. Again, more storm surge. A lot of storm surge over the Big Bend where that water can hit up to 20 feet high. So a lot of water. So you're gonna see debris coming in off the water. Boats is gonna end up on shore, and other debris that's out over the water that's gonna get pushed on shore by that strong storm surge. Let's not forget, if any wildlife that's out there that got caught in this storm surge could also end up on shore. So alligators, sharks, any other creatures that's out over in the water could end up in on the coastal areas here of Florida. So this could be interesting with hurricanes and a good storm surge like this, because where the storm is coming from the south, this is the perfect area for the storm surge to come on shore right here over the Big Bend area, Apalachicola and Tallahassee's here. So expect to see any critters that get sucked in, the boats small boats that might be in the dock might get torn away from the dock and pushed toward the shoreline, and any other debris in the water could get carried toward the coastline and moved on shore, because you have a 20-foot storm surge. So you have areas that's normally dry land is going to be inundated with water. So fish, sharks, alligators, and lizards, anything that can get caught, cars, boats, street signs, cans, debris, anything that gets thrown into the water can end up inundated here across the Big Bend area. So it's going to be interesting. So again, here we go as we look at storm surge alerts here. We have a storm surge warning over the Big Bend area, but we can see some smaller storm surge here over the Tampa Bay area, Sarasota, down through Fort Myers and Naples. There further to the south, we can see some minor storm surge effects, but the big stuff is up here. Woo! So again, here we go as we look at our really powerful Category 4 hurricane making its way into the Big Bend area of Florida with those heavy wind gusts over 100 miles an hour. So we're going to see very strong wind gusts up to 160 to 170 miles per hour. Possibly we'll have something. Now I have to say, as we get through into the nighttime hours, those wind gusts will be a little bit less before it comes on shore, because that's kind of what happens when it gets dark, a little bit less, and you will see the wind gusts be a little bit lighter, but it's still going to be over 120 miles per hour, but we're going to see a little bit lower wind gusts. Again, here's a look at these wind gusts that we're going to see down through central Florida. So Ocala, we're going to be seeing wind gusts over 70 miles an hour. But look at Cedar Key, where wind gusts would be over 100 miles per hour. So we're going to see a lot of areas see wind gusts 70, 80 to 80 to 90 miles per hour. So Lake City, Florida, wind gusts to 90, 40 to 50 in Tallahassee. A lot, very, very windy out there. So it's a bit gusty. It's a little gusty. Gonna be hard to stand up in those winds. So again, this is what we're gonna see through Friday. More high winds. We're gonna see those wind gusts approach 100 miles an hour near St. Petersburg Beach, St. Pete's Beach, Tampa as well. We're gonna see those high winds. But a little bit easier on you if you're over the eastern, like Cape Canaveral, Palm Bay, St. Cloud, Orlando. We're going to see those wind gusts around the 70 mile per hour range. Again, those wind gusts again, it's going to be through Friday. We're going to see those wind gusts through the South Florida from 40 to 50. So a lot of tropical storm force winds here across South Florida. So West Palm Beach, Boca Raton, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, down through Marco Island, Naples, and we're going to see those wind gusts from Fort Myers to 70 miles per hour. So very windy out there. Again, look at that rainfall. We're going to see those rainfall amounts 12 to 18 inches. So some areas will see as much as 18 inches of rainfall across north central Florida and in the southern Georgia and Carolina and Tennessee and Kentucky as well. Again, look at those rainfall across the Big Bend. We're going to see 2 to 3 inches of rainfall through Friday, but some areas can pick up over 5 inches. So we're going to see a lot of heavy rain with our hurricane as it makes its way on shore and toward the north across the state of Georgia. Again, we're going to see a lot of rainfall to come across central and southern Florida. So it's going to get a little bit, be a little less rainfall over central Florida. So Orlando, the Palm Bay, down through Sebring and Sarasota, we're going to see lower rainfall amounts. And then down to Fort Lauderdale, Boca Raton, Miami, even less. We're going to look at that rainfall less than a half inch to an inch of rain. Some areas might pick up to 2 inches of rain across central and southern Florida as we head into your Friday. Again, here's that windfall forecast across the Carolinas. So Charlotte through Columbia, South Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina, Macon, Georgia, Atlanta, Knoxville, Tennessee, Nashville, Huntsville, Alabama, Paducah, Kentucky, and Jackson, Kentucky. We're gonna see those winds up to 70 miles per hour. A little bit less in the east there. Charlotte can see wind gusts up to 80, so just much. But Roanoke, North Carolina, 50 to 60. Charleston will be 70 to 80, so 80 to 90 mile per hour winds in Columbia. Macon, Georgia will see those winds from 40 to 50 into Atlanta as well. And then Huntsville, Nashville will see winds in the 40 to 50 mile per hour range. And mind you, the storm will be weaker when it gets to those regions, so you will see weaker winds as well. And here we go, as we look at the rain still to come. We're looking at lots of rain that we're going to see across the southeast. So Georgia, we're going to still see areas pick up that 12 to 18 inches. So we're going to see some isolated spots pick up 12 to 18. So we're going to see 8 to 12 is going to be fairly common. So the Appalachian mountain regions, Appalachia, the lower Mississippi River Valley won't see much from this, but we will see a lot of rain across the Appalachians and the southeast as well. Again, we're going to see that severe and that flash flood threat be for extreme. So we're going to see an extreme risk for flash flooding across Georgia and South Carolina and parts of North Carolina as well. So as we talk about what's to come after, so what's next after Helene? So we're keeping an eye on the Caribbean now, but we have a couple areas that's something to watch over the next 7 days. This region here is about a 20% chance of developing. I'm standing in front of it. Let me move over here so you can see this region here. This is about a 20% chance of developing something, but there's a lot of wind shear here, so this will have to be watched. So this is near off to Mexico and Central America. South America's right there. So we are seeing this region here. This is going to be near Honduras, and so we're going to be keeping an eye on that. And then as here's what's out there further. We got invest 98, 99L, I think, no, 98L. So that is a tropical wave that has some potential over the long run. Then we have this activity as well, but we'll have to keep an eye on this. These are other storms. Is Isaac's moving away, and here's Helene right there. So we are going to be keeping an eye on the tropics because things are not over yet. So we'll have to see what happens with some of those other objects that are further out at sea. And that is your weather forecast. Unfortunately, that's all the game is and all. There's not much to talk about across the rest of the country right now. We're looking at beautiful weather here across the upper Midwest, through Minnesota and the plains and the Ohio Valley and areas like that. So pretty nice weather, temperatures in the 70s to lower 80s as well for the remainder of the week and into the weekend. We might see a little bit cooler temperatures late next week, but until then, enjoy the summer-like temperatures across the parts of the upper Midwest here. So my name is Dooley Godot. Thank you for watching today's video in this weather forecast, and I will see you guys all tomorrow in another video. Bye-bye.